There are people there who have got bottles of strong alcohol and are sitting on this, and that would be many people's impression of what an alcoholic is. But I would beg to differ, and an awful lot of people, many of whom who will be watching this at the moment, will have their own alcohol problem, although they may well not recognise it. It creeps up on you, and it starts off with a glass of wine with a meal, or 1 or 2 pints in the pub. And over a period of time, and I'm not talking days or weeks, I'm talking months, I'm talking years, I'm talking even decades, but that will increase, and it does increase. And it has a major effect. It doesn't just have a major effect on your health, it has a major effect on your mental well-being, and on your family, and on your friends. And pretty soon, when you realise you've got a problem, by then it's often too late. So the difficulty with alcohol is that it is socially acceptable by and large. Most people will go to the pub, have a couple of beers, have a glass of wine at home, have a bottle of wine at home, have a couple of whiskies, and then you're on the slippery slope. It is very, very difficult to break out of it once you are in it. And in my case, it wasn't until I was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver that I realised I was in serious trouble, because at the time I was given 6 weeks left to live if I carried on drinking.
And so what is it you do now, so to speak? Do you feel like happy or comfortable with the idea of speaking up for alcoholism, so to speak, or against alcoholism?
It's not, I don't speak up or against it, mainly because of the fact that I know what an intrinsic part of your life alcohol can be. And let's be fair, it is very, very enjoyable. People, everybody that goes out to celebrate on whatever occasion it is, it involves alcohol, and that's fine, there's no problem with it. It's when you step over the line, and it becomes a dependency, and you think about it all day. You go, in my case, you go to work and I think, oh, thank God, glad work's over, I can get down the pub. And you do think like that. Breaking alcohol, it was a massive problem, and it still is. People say one drink and you're back on, and it's absolutely true. And until you realise that, I go out and I can't have a drink, and that is difficult. If I go out with people, I go out to dinner with my wife, I go to people's weddings and things, it is very, very difficult. And there are pinch points where I have to leave. I simply have to stand up and leave a pub or a club or wherever I am, because it is too difficult for me to handle. Day to day, it's fine. I'm at the situation where I don't think about having a drink, but there are those pinch points. And it is literally, it does come down to willpower, understanding what you are and what it's about. But more importantly, it comes down to whether or not you want to do it. Because if you don't want to break it, then you will not break it. And no amount of help or support is going to make any difference to you whatsoever.
Say, take somewhere like Grays Town Centre, where they've got a problem with people hanging around drinking alcohol. They've now got a dispersal order in Clarence Road. Do you think, and also what people also see in Thurrock is, on a day like this, every corner there's somebody holding a can of Stella, like it's a trophy.
Yeah.
Are dispersal orders the answer?
They're probably the answer if you've got a bunch of youths who are drinking, and basically they use the drink in order to give them the courage to cause problems and to fight amongst each other and to generally be bloody obnoxious. Fine, but dispersal order, what does it mean? It means you move it from one place to another. So you're not actually dealing with the problem. All you're doing is shifting it from one area to another area, which might be great for the people in that particular area, but what about where they end up? Dispersal orders aren't what it's about. I can understand why they do it, and I can understand the need for it, because at least as far as the public is concerned, it looks as if they're doing something about it. What their needs in order to resolve people with alcohol problems, it needs an awful lot of resources, an awful lot of individuals who are committed and know what they're doing to work with people. It's not, you can't just turn around and say, oh, come on mate, give it up, you don't need it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, because it is an actual addiction, and it is a physical addiction, and but it's also a mental addiction. And people call it an illness. I don't call it an illness, right? Not of the body anyway. It's an illness of the mind.